Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you have been sitting on Zoom for too long, then this class is for you. We are going to take it through a gentle yoga practice that is particularly geared toward using your desk, your table, your countertop, your chair even, as a stretching tool. We will still use a yoga mat. We'll still do a number of poses that are based on a yoga mat and don't require a support, but throughout the practice, I'll be demonstrating and offering options for incorporating a sturdy surface like a desk in your movement. And the idea here is that perhaps by the end of this time together, you will have some new ideas and you will have some new little tools that you could implement throughout the course of the day. Some new stretching techniques, just some new things that you might be able to sprinkle into your daily work schedule. So if that sounds like fun to you, then let's get started. Okay. I'm going to move my little laptop so you can see both my desk and my yoga mat. I am hopeful that I'm framing this right. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. All right, so go ahead and stand up. We're gonna get started with just some breathing, breathing and moving our shoulders, because there's a good chance if you've been seated for a while that the opportunity to just stand up is going to do your body some good. So on the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead to the sides and overhead. Exhale, release them down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, release them down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, release them down. Inhale. Exhale. Relax your shoulders, relax your wrists. Have a soft knee bend, relax your feet. And now start to just roll your head to the right, to the left, side to side, getting a nice side to side stretch for your neck. And if there's a moment, if there's a particular space in your neck that feels really nice, that could use a little extra love there, then maybe hang out there for a little bit. You don't have to just spend 1 second on each side. Don't keep it rigid. All right, now back to standing. Let's do some forward, backward with just the neck. Chin to the chest, chin up toward the sky. Chin to the chest, chin up toward the sky. Forward, backward with the neck. And maybe some little neck rolls. So if you want to kind of drop your chin to your chest and then bring your ear over to one shoulder like I'm doing. All right, one other tool that is going to be useful today that we'll use a couple times is a strap. So this is a yoga strap, but it's not like a fancy piece of equipment. You could use a belt, you could use a dog leash, you could use a sash, if you have a sash that goes with a really stylish like robe or duster that you own. Anything that will allow you to put some space between your hands will do the trick. So go ahead and find that. And then having your elbows straight, your hands nice and wide, we're going to use this strap to draw our arms up and overhead. Now, something that you might be doing, because a lot of people do this when they first start doing this, is that you might be bending your elbows to create some space as you go up and overhead, right? So don't do that. Straighten up the elbows, and if it feels like it's pulling too hard, put some space between your hands so that you can keep the elbows straight. I want you to feel this across the front of your chest, in your pecs, and in your front deltoids. Forward, backward, overhead, and down in front. And once you've done a few of these, you might notice that your shoulders are starting to get a little bit more mobile, a little bit warmer, and so you could shorten the distance between your two hands. And notice how that changes the sensation ever so slightly. It actually starts to pull a little bit harder in that space across the fronts of the shoulders. Yeah. Go ahead and take it through 3 or 4 more of these. Stretching the fronts of the shoulders is super important when you've been seated hunching over a laptop or a screen all day long, because over time, as we spend minutes and then hours leaning forward, what happens, you can see from the side, what happens is that my shoulders internally rotate. And so I'm sitting here typing, and I don't even notice that these muscles across the front of my chest shorten, relax, and then that is to blame for this terrible hunching posture that you see right now. So what you can do to counteract that and counterbalance is to stretch the fronts of the shoulders, kind of like what we were doing. Okay, come on back to the edge of your desk. And what I want you to do is, well, don't touch the desk just yet. Step a couple feet away from the desk and have a soft bend in the knees, but don't take a big bend. So just a little soft bend in the knees, and then bend at the hips, walk your hands out to put some body weight on the desk. And now I want you to walk your hips back until your upper body is in one straight line from your tailbone to the surface of the desk. And so if you recognize this shape, it's like we're making a downward facing dog, except most of the body weight is on our feet, right? And so it's not so taxing on the shoulders and the wrists. All right, so now we're gonna, just like when we're on the mat, we're going to do a little downward facing dog plank flow that uses the desk. So on the next inhale, bring the hips in line with the shoulders. It's like I'm doing a plank, but it's like a standing plank. Exhale into that standing downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a plank. And it goes without saying that you should only do this when you have a fairly supportive surface. Please don't do this on a surface that might go skittering away from you or rolling or toppling over. All right, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. And on this next downward facing dog, we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. So get your hands nice and comfortable. What you might even do is walk your hands forward on the surface of the table so that you don't really have to use the muscular strength of your arms to keep your upper body supported. You can just kind of relax your hands, relax your forearms, and just let gravity pull your sternum toward the earth. So you might notice that the sensation here is similar to what you might feel in child's pose, right? So it's a nice chest opener here. Take some nice deep belly breaths. And now let's walk back up out of it. Let's move to our mats, shall we? So bring it to tabletop if you would. So we're going to start to that same movement that we were doing with just our neck when we were standing side to side, forward, backward. We're going to do that with the rest of our spine. So we're going to start with some side to side, shoulder to hip, right to left, just like you're looking for your tail. Draw your right shoulder to your right hip, left shoulder to left hip. Staying in this lateral plane here. All right, now let's take it through a few rounds of cat-cow, forward, backward flexion of the spine. Nice deep breaths. Inhale as you draw the sternum forward. Exhale as you round the spine. Forward, backward flexion of the spine. And now whenever you're ready, if it would feel really nice, maybe start to take some organic movements here. So if you want to take some sweeping hip circles, you want to try tucking your pelvis under. Take any little shapes here with your back, with your shoulders and hips that would feel really nice for you today. Just unwinding from what you've been up to. All right, so from tabletop, pick up the right foot and step it forward outside the right pinky and start to just draw some little knee circles here using that right knee around the right ankle. So we're really grounded with both of our hands and our back knee. Just kind of breathing into and mobilizing that hip joint, that hip flexor. Okay, take it back to tabletop, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side, little knee circles here. Alright, now bring it back to tabletop, curl the toes under, take an inhale, and on the exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet right, left, press one heel, then the other into the earth. Nice, long, slow inhales through the nose, exhales through the nose or mouth. Now glance up at your hands and walk your feet forward to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. We're going to take it through a couple full sun salutations, nice and easy, just to get all the joints and muscles working here. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to plank, lower all the way to the earth with control. Inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog. Exhale. 2 long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. And by the way, any movements that you want to take a downward facing dog, please go for it. If you want to really lean into the balls of the feet, you want to bend and straighten the ankles, the knees. You want to take some little ankle rolls, whatever would feel really nice for you today. All right, glance up at the hands, walk your feet forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. One more full sun salutation from the top. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to plank. Take it through a flow, lowering with control. We're just building some heat here in the body. Exhale, downward facing dog. At the end of that exhale, walk your feet forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, so just for a moment, relax your hands down by your sides. Flip the palms forward and roll the shoulders back behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Stand up nice and tall. Another way to think about opening the chest and rotating the shoulders back and away from you is if you bend the elbows and flip the palms up like you're holding a pizza box, and then draw the hands out to the sides. So from the front view, it looks like this. Draw the hands out to the sides with the palms still up. And so if you feel that activation in the upper back between the shoulder blades, and now keep that activation in the upper back as you release the arms down by your sides. That is a nice posture, all right? Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it through a flow. Now from downward facing dog, inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb, lower the back knee to the earth. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, roll that right leg towards straight. We're going forward and backward with our breath. Inhale, bring the front knee over the front ankle. Exhale into that hamstring. Start to feel that hamstring warming and lengthening. And on the next inhale, bring it back over the front ankle, curl the back toes under. Inhale for crescent lunge. All right, so we're going to keep warming up our legs a little bit by using our arms, our upper body, for a little bit of counterbalance. So inhale, arms overhead in crescent lunge. And on the exhale, sweep the arms back behind you, hinge forward. So we're transferring a little bit of our body weight into that front leg, but don't just collapse into it with your upper body. Stay lifted with your upper body, nice and strong, tall to the crown of the head. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane wings. Inhale, crescent lunge. Last time, airplane wings. Inhale, crescent lunge. And on the exhale, hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow, or you can skip it. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Left side, inhale with the left leg. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb, lower the back knee to the earth, establish this low lunge here. Take an inhale. Exhale into the hamstring. Inhale into that low lunge, rocking the body weight forward. Exhale into the hamstring. Now use your breath to take it away on your own time, your own pace. Now on the next inhale, draw the front knee over the front ankle, curl back toes under, make your way into crescent lunge, find your balance with control. Both knees are bent here, so we're not really rigid in our back leg or our front leg, we're in our muscles. Take an inhale. Exhale, airplane wings, hinge forward. Move at the pace of your balance. Inhale, crescent lunge. The legs stay as they are. Exhale, airplane wings. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale with control. Sometimes the slower you move, the more challenging it is. Slow doesn't necessarily mean easy. Take it through a flow. So now that we've warmed up the body a little bit more, let's take it back over to the desk. So go ahead and move. Hopefully your desk and your yoga mat are pretty close together like mine. And we're going to do basically that same sequence from the lunge into the hamstring, except this time you're going to use the surface of your desk. Now, I hope that you obtain permission from the owner of your desk before you just go wiping your feet all over it. I mean, maybe you could put a sock on or something like that, but go ahead and address your desk, and what you're going to do is nice and comfortable, plant the right hand or right foot on the desk and start to just lean forward. Start to really just kind of mobilize into that right hip for a moment. So depending on the height of your desk or your counter, this might not, I can't imagine doing this on my countertop, but my desk is a pretty good height for this. So maybe there's a nightstand, maybe the edge of your bed might be a really good option. Okay, so now that you've spent a couple moments here in this low lunge using the desk, Take an inhale, and then using your desk for support on the exhale, rock your body weight back into that standing leg, into a straight or almost straight right leg. You don't have to be able to straighten it. Inhale, bring it forward again, stretching into the left hip flexor. Exhale into that right leg. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale. And now use your breath to go forward, backward with this desk. So the nice thing about elevating your foot here is that it automatically gives you a little bit of feedback for that hamstring stretch. A little extra challenge here. All right, now go ahead and release. Plant both feet on the earth, and we're just going to go right into it on the other side. So same sort of thing. Have your left foot on the ledge of the desk now. Just start by mobilizing a little bit, getting nice and comfortable. Maybe you draw some little knee circles around the ankle. All right, now let's start to flow forward and backward from the hip stretch into your hamstring. And you might need to kind of adjust the orientation of your feet, the positioning of your standing foot to make sure you can stay stable as you flow forward and back. Customize this for your furniture. And if you don't have access to a piece of furniture that this works for, you can obviously continue to do this on your mat. We've already done this same basic sequence here. All right, go ahead and release. All right, now turn to the side. Sorry, my camera goes off. Not my camera, my screensaver goes on. I just want to make sure you can still see me. Okay, so turn to the side so the desk is right next to your hip. Again, step your feet about hip distance apart, soft bend in the knees. And we're going to use this desk to support ourselves into a nice long side stretch. And so I want you to think of your desk as your ballet bar, right? And so your hand is supported on the desk. And if you glance at your limbs and your body, you are moving in one plane of movement. So your upper arm is not twisting forward or back. It is in line. If you were to drop something from your upper hand, you want it to land at in the same plane as your anchored hand. All right, inhale, bring it back to center. Other side. I'm going to turn around. Feet beneath the hips. Anchor yourself with my right hand, it's your left. And reach up and over. Nice long side stretch. All right, we're going to do 2 more times each side. So turn around, establish your foundation, and lean into that long side stretch. And remember, you can counterbalance this with your hips. And so if your hips are leaning away from the desk, your upper body leaning toward the desk, you might be able to find even a little bit more space in your body. Switch sides. One more time each side right here. And then switch sides. So this is the 3rd time you're doing the 2nd side. Awesome. All right, turn back to your desk, and let's take it back to that anchored downward facing dog with the hands elevated. Place the head toward the earth, nod your head yes, shake your head no.
Take it through a few full rounds of breath here. And checking with your knees here. Sometimes it feels nice to straighten up the legs and have a hamstring stretch here. Sometimes it feels nice to soften the knees a little bit and take some of the pressure off the hamstrings and off the low back. Take the posture that would feel really nice for you today. And let's come on out of it. Nice. Okay, let's move back to the mat. Start from the top of the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it through a flow. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through outside the right pinky this time. Now, it's up to you. You can lower the back knee to the earth for a little bit more stability, or you can keep it lifted, and that keeps you a little bit more active through the lower body, maintaining a little bit more heat. Either way, plant your right hand inside the right knee and press it away from the midline. So the idea here is that we're getting into the outer hip. Kind of like when we are doing a figure four stretch and the right hip or the right knee twists away from the midline of the body. That's the idea here. And so if you glance down at your right foot, and your right foot probably is rolling out onto the pinky edge of the foot. That is, you're doing it right. And something that might feel really nice in this position might be to move around just a little bit of movement, kind of exploring what's going on in your hip flexor here. All right, now go ahead and take it back to tabletop, and just for a moment, take it through a few rounds of cat-cow, forward, backward flexion of the spine. Curl the toes under, take an inhale, and on the exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. All right, same stretch, left side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through outside the left pinky. Same thing on this side. You can either lower the back knee to the earth, or you can stay lifted. Either way, press into the left knee using that left hand. And so if you press it away from you, you're going to rotate onto the pinky edge of your left foot. Remember to breathe. All right. And slowly take it back to tabletop. Another few rounds of cat-cow with your breath. Inhale through the back, then gaze goes up. Exhale to round the spine, taking the chin to the chest. All right, so from tabletop, we're going to start to get into our side body a little bit more again. So what I want you to do is straighten up the right leg and settle the right foot down onto the earth. Move forward just a little bit, straighten up the right leg. And so the right leg is straight. Now what I want you to do is open up the right hand toward the sky. So we're coming into a modified side plank. Now it's important to make sure happens here is that your left knee is directly beneath the left hip, so it's supporting yourself for when you bring your shoulders up over your hips. And exhale, get a nice long side stretch down the whole left side of the body. Inhale, shoulders over hips again. Exhale, float the left hand to the earth. Let's take it through this sequence with our breath. A few more times. Exhale for the side bend, staying supported with your hand on your leg. Exhale. Inhale, activate the core. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale, shoulders over hips. Exhale, hand to the earth. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring it back to tabletop. Kick the left leg straight and have the foot on the earth. Right hand is on the earth, left fingertips to the sky. Inhale. Exhale for the side stretch. Gaze goes up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take it back to tabletop. Nice. Let's take it back to the desk, shall we? And so that hip rotation that we did, that outer hip stretch that we did on the floor, is something that you can also do using a desk or a chair or a stool or anything like that. So standing, facing your desk, shift your body weight to your left foot and pick up your right foot. And then can you, well, here, let's start by planting the right foot on the desk for a moment so you can kind of, once again, get comfortable with this lunge using the desk. And now, just like we did on the mat, now also support yourself with your hands on the desk. Just like we did on the mat, you're pressing the right knee away from the midline of the body. Okay, if this feels pretty good, and you want to try taking it a little bit deeper, maintaining your balance and lay the shin down onto the desk, right? And so you are getting, it's basically a standing figure four using the desk for support. Let me see if I can turn towards you just a little bit so you can maybe see what I'm doing. So this is using the desk as a little bit of a lunge, right? And I'm pressing the knee away from me. And now I'm laying the shin down on the desk. Oh, really nice. Stretch for the outer hip. By the way, this is basically like pigeon pose, but it's using a desk. And the rules for pigeon apply here too. If you feel like your knee is just about to twist the wrong way, please come out of it and change either the intensity. You might slip a pillow underneath your knee. You might do that. You might go back to just getting a rotation here, because the weak point in this stretch sometimes does wind up being the knee, and if you don't have the flexibility for this to be a nice stretch for your hip, then your knee's going to take a beating in this pose. So please don't injure yourself for the sake of a stretch. It's really just not worth it. All right, so go ahead and come on out of it, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Shift your body weight to your right leg and pick up the left knee, and just come right back into this lunge with your foot on your desk. And then press the knee away from the midline. And if that's feeling pretty good, no complaints from your knee, no complaints from any of your other joints, then lay the knee down. Lay the shin down on your desk. It's kind of new and different. It's kind of fun to use your desk for stretching because it feels like you're breaking rules.
I just moved my ankle off the edge of my desk because it was aggravating my ankle bone. Nice deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Oh yeah, if this would feel really nice for you, if you want to try folding forward over your leg, you could either relax your head down onto your desk. This is like all the benefits of pigeon pose, but without the hip flexor portion of the stretch, which is kind of nice because if your hip flexors are tight, I should get my husband in here to do this. His hip flexors are really tight. So if your hip flexors are tight, then pigeon can be kind of miserable because all you're thinking about is like, oh my gosh, my hip flexor. But you're getting all the benefit of this outer hip stretch without the torture of your opposite hip flexor. Good stuff. All right, go ahead and slowly press back up out of it. Nice. All right, let's move back to the mat. Grab your strap again. Let's get back into our shoulders. And so that same overhead movement that we were doing, the pass-throughs, we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of both hands overhead, both hands forward, we're going to do a little follow-through. And so what it looks like is if you do one arm and then the other arm. One arm and then the other arm. So you're kind of just, you're getting a little bit more of an intense rotation with the shoulder. One arm, then the other arm. Just keep doing the same arm first, and then follow it with the other arm. Okay, now switch directions. So one arm, other arm. You should be going the opposite direction as you were before. Go ahead and get a few more. Oh, nice. All right, go ahead and set the strap off to the side. Step your feet nice and wide, about a leg's distance apart. Have your feet parallel. Interlace the hands behind the back. Roll the shoulder blades together. And on the exhale, hinge forward and down over the legs. By the way, you could use the strap again for this. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So you would interlace the hand, not interlace the hands. You would grab hold of the strap behind your back. And then draw the arms overhead. Nice stretch across the fronts of the shoulders. Release your head, release your neck. Nice, and come on out of it. Ooh, that's nice. All right, have a seat on your mat. We're going to move into some floor stretching here. So start with your hamstring. I have your right leg out straight, left is bent. You also have the option to loop the strap around your foot if reaching for your foot is causing you pain in your low back, or if it's just causing you to be very distracted in your pose, then just having that handle on your foot can be really nice. Inhale, arms overhead. Square the shoulders over the right leg, and on the exhale, hinge forward and down over the right leg.
right, now release the upper body, but don't switch legs just yet. We're going to use these same legs to move into a little backside bend here. So with your right leg straight, left bend. Now take your left hand, plant it behind your tailbone. Reach your right hand toward the sky. Now look up toward the sky and imagine somebody's reaching down and grabbing hold of you by this hand. And as they pull you up by the hand, you also pick up your hips, drop your head back, look at the wall behind you. Maybe even reach that arm up and around behind you. And now it's up to you. You can maybe like lean into a little side stretch here that feels really nice. You can maintain that upper back chest opener. Drop your head back. And slowly make your way back out of it. Nice. Other side. Switch legs. Have your left leg straight, right is bent. Inhale, arms overhead, square the shoulders over the left leg. Exhale, fold forward and down. All right, now slowly coming back out of it, and just like on the other side, we're using our legs to create this back bend. So you take your right hand, set it on the floor behind your tailbone, left hand toward the sky, and imagine somebody's pulling you up by that left hand. Your hips go up, your upper body opens, your head drops back, and maybe find a nice long side back stretch. So you can come out of that whenever you are ready. I love that one. Okay. Since we got the strap out, we're going to use the strap for one more. We're going to use it for inner thigh, and then we're going to use it for a twist. So loop the strap around your right leg and shift both tails of the strap into the right hand. Release the left leg down onto the earth, and now you're supporting the strap, supporting your leg with the strap. Lower that right leg off to the right. The key here is to have the strap, because if you're trying to like grab hold of your foot with your hand, some people can do that, but if you're trying to grab hold of your foot with your hand, then you might be like twisting your upper body toward your foot to try to make that happen. And really this should just be about the inner thigh. So make it easy on yourself. This is gentle yoga. All right, now supporting your foot in the strap, bring it back to center, and now pass the strap into your left hand. Pass the strap into your left hand and take it across the body in a IT band stretch. So you should feel this down the outside of that right leg all the way up into your hip, maybe even up into your low back. Release, bring it back to center and switch feet. So slip your left foot in, Release your right leg. And now with the straps in your left hand, lower the left leg down onto the earth, opening it out to the side. Should feel that stretch in your inner thigh. Use your right leg to really weight your body down as an anchor as your left leg swings out to the side for the stretch. You might even counterbalance with your arm on the earth too. So you're making a big plus sign with your body. And bring it back to center. Pass the strap into your right hand and let's take it across the body to the right. And slowly bring it on back to center. Release the strap off to the side and make your way into your final resting pose. Whatever that looks like for you today, find a pose that allows you to close your eyes, allows you to breathe deeply, allows you to be still for a few moments. Shavasana. Slowly begin to reawaken the body, wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists, the ankles. Reach the arms overhead toward the back, point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch from fingers to toes and everything in between. And on the exhale, roll over to the right side. And slowly make your way back up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Lightly rest your hands on your knees. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice both the changes in your joints, your muscles, and your posture. But even more so, the changes in your posture of your mind, of your heart, posture of your awareness. The ease and the peace with which you notice the world, notice what is going on within and around you. And take this sense of peace with you throughout the rest of your evening. On the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Have a beautiful evening. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you had a wonderful desk yoga practice, and I hope you learned a couple things that perhaps you can maybe apply to future stretching breaks. Just as a recap reminder, I am here on YouTube, Pepperdine Campus Recreation, on Tuesdays at noon. Yeah, Tuesdays at noon, Wednesdays at 5:30. And Thursdays at 10:30 for stairwell training. So I hope you can continue to join me sweating from home or wherever you are for the rest of the fall semester. Take care. Bye.